Dickinson-Muhlenberg basketball. Dickinson taking a 34-27 lead over the Mules at the Klein Center. Adam Honig hitting a 30-foot jumper at the buzzer to give the Red Devils a 7-point lead. Welcome back to our home studios, and let's catch you up on some of the day's actions, and let's start with men's basketball. Washington College improved to 5-13 overall with a 73-68 victory over Swarthmore. Pat Morgan leading the way for the Shoremen with 19 points. Tony Hawkins added 16. Sam Liebrick led the Garnet with 15 points. Washington College overcame a 15-point first half deficit to hand the Garnet their 13th loss in 18 decisions. Washington College over Swarthmore by a score of 73-68. On the women's side, big surprise tonight in Westminster. McDaniel hands first place Johns Hopkins a 29-point defeat. McDaniel defeating Johns Hopkins by a score of 70-41. Steph Perez, 6 of 8 from beyond the arc for a game-high 24 points. The Green Terrors now 13-4 overall, 8-3 in the conference. Johns Hopkins falls to 12-5 and 10-2. Conte leads the way for the Blue Jays with 19 points. Hopkins shooting just 34.7% from the floor. McDaniel 70, Johns Hopkins 41. Haverford closed within one game of first place with a 70-50 victory over Ursinus. Jackie Pizzuto led the way for the Fords with 16 points. Nina Voigt added 15 as the Fords improved to 15-1, 9-1 in the conference. Jess Parada led the Bears double-double with 14 points and 16 rebounds. Alyssa Palmeni, 11 points for the Bears. Ursinus now 6-11 overall, 4-8 in the conference. Haverford once again with a 70-50 victory over Ursinus. Gettysburg comes away with a 58-41 victory over Franklin and Marshall. Caroline Murphy doing a lot of the damage, 21 points. Alyssa Isler with 12 points. Gettysburg, the defending conference champion, improving to 11-6 overall, 7-5 in the conference. Franklin and Marshall's Christina McCarthy, 14 points and 8 rebounds. But the Dips shot just 28% from the field, falling for the 14th time in 17 outings. Gettysburg, a 58-41 victory over Franklin and Marshall. Let's take a look at the women's standings. As we said, Johns Hopkins now 10-2 overall, 10-2 in the conference. Haverford 9-1. McDaniel closes the gap at the top spot at 8-3, Muhlenberg at 7-4, and Gettysburg at 7-5. Those 5 teams shaping up as the 5 playoff teams as the season comes down to the final 3 weeks. You're watching Centennial Conference at the Half. My name is Steve Ulrich. Hope you're enjoying tonight's broadcast of the Dickinson-Muhlenberg men's basketball game. Dickinson with a 34-27 lead. 34-27 lead over the Mules. Tucker Landy leading the way with 10 points for the Red Devils, who are shooting just 32% from the floor. Dickinson 14-3 in the year, 9-1, a game in front of the Centennial standings, ahead of McDaniel and Franklin and Marshall. Muhlenberg's Kevin Hargrove and Malik Killian with 6 points apiece. Muhlenberg needing a win if they're going to keep their hopes alive for a first-round tournament bye. Once again, you're watching Centennial Conference at the Half. Your score at the break, Dickinson 34, Muhlenberg 27. Coming up a little later this evening, we have more men's action. Franklin and Marshall is at Gettysburg. Haverford is at Ursinus. We also have a women's game with Swarthmore at Washington College. The other men's game, Johns Hopkins at McDaniel. That's going to be a key game in the men's standings. McDaniel, a game off the pace, upset by Dickinson. Johns Hopkins 2 games back in 4th place all by themselves. Hopkins trying to get themselves back into contention for hosting and a first-round bye. So those games are coming up. You can catch all the action on centennialconference.tv. And if you want to catch the McDaniel game against Johns Hopkins, McDanielAthletics.com is your source for Green Terror home basketball action. Let's do a quick recap again of tonight's women's action. The shocker in Westminster, McDaniel defeating Johns Hopkins by a score of 70-41. Steph Perez, 24 points, including 6 threes. Haverford knocks off Ursinus by a score of 70-50. Jackie Pizzuto leads a quartet of Fords in double figures with 16 points. The Fords now 15-1 overall, 9-1 in the conference. Gettysburg improves to 7-5 in the conference, 11-6 overall, with a 58-41 victory over Franklin and Marshall. On the men's side tonight, Washington College overcame a 15-point first-half deficit to defeat Swarthmore by a score of 73-68. And your score at the half, Dickinson leads Muhlenberg by a score of 34-27. Thanks for joining us on Centennial Conference at the half. We hope you enjoy your second half of action and catch up later on this evening at halftime of the 8 o'clock starts for more scores and wrap-ups from tonight's action in the Centennial Conference. Thanks for joining us.